The Technics AZ60 have arrived in the studio, finally, packing a long list of features including strong active noise cancellation, excellent sound quality, and multi-point connectivity. But are they worth that $200 plus price tag? And can they compete against some of the top dogs from Sony, Bose, B&O, and Soundcore? In this video, I'll be answering those questions along with giving you my complete review. I'll also be including both comparisons and microphone samples towards the end of this video. But before we move on, I went ahead and bought these earbuds myself with my own money for testing and review purposes. This video isn't sponsored in any way by any of the companies mentioned in this video. Just wanted to make that clear to everyone. So, let's get started. So first up, let's talk about that Bluetooth connection. So the Technics AZ60 are featuring Bluetooth 5.2 along with AAC and SBC as their connection codecs, but we also get LDAC support for Android devices. And this brings us near CD quality audio when paired with good source music. When it comes to Bluetooth range, you're going to get 10 meters or just about 32 feet, but obviously this is going to vary depending on how many obstructions you put in between the earbuds and the device that they're connected to. And codec choice will also affect the range. So if you use an SBC or AAC, you're going to get maximum range. But if you're using something like LDAC, that range will be reduced. In addition to this, the Technics AZ60 are also featuring single usage mode. And this is where you can use each earbud individually while the other one is charging in its case. And in addition to this, you can still control all of the functions, including transparency mode, in single usage mode. Now that's going to bring us over to one of the more important features of the Technics AZ60. And that's going to be their multi-point connectivity. Now, the multi-point connectivity allows you to connect to two devices at the same time. Now, when you're connected to two devices, you can't use LDAC, just making that clear. So either you can use LDAC for high-res audio or you can use multi-point, one or the other, but not both at the same time. Now, the multi-point function here works very well. I actually had these connected to both my Pixel 6 Pro and my iPad Pro at the same time. So excellent multi-point capability here. And then moving over to lag or latency with the Technics AZ60, there was little to no latency with AAC or SBC mode. Now there's a slight bit of latency when you're using LDAC, but that's to be expected. So these earbuds can be used for casual gaming, but there is going to be some noticeable latency if you're going to be playing any sort of mobile shooting games like Call of Duty. So keep that in mind. Unfortunately, there is no low latency gaming mode with the Technics AZ60. So just a quick word of caution, using LDAC codec on earbuds and headphones will noticeably reduce your overall battery life. As such, I recommend only using these modes when you truly need them. Otherwise, I would just use them in their regular modes. But now, on that topic of battery life, Technics was claiming up to 7 hours on a single charge with an additional 24 hours in the case. Obviously, there will be some nuance to this based on settings and listening modes. So let's break it down. So I'm going to go ahead and put up all the battery numbers on the screen right here for you to check out. Go ahead and pause it if you want to see all the individual battery life numbers based on the modes, both ANC on and off, with LDAC or in AAC mode, so you can see the nuance there between the battery life. The range is anywhere from 4 hours to almost 8 hours. So it all comes down to which modes you're using these earbuds with. Now, when it comes to actually charging the earbuds themselves, they do feature a fast charging mode. So you can drop these into their case for 15 minutes, and that will give you 1 hour worth of playback time depending on the settings. And then recharging the case itself, it is USB-C only. Unfortunately, there is no wireless charging with the Technics AZ60. Now, these earbuds are featuring a compact case design, and once you pop it open, the earbuds themselves are actually very easy to pull out of the case and easy to return right into it. The case itself feels very premium. It has a slim design. It is actually smaller than the case for the previous model, the AZ70. Overall, very pocketable, very easy to use, and very easy to handle. Now, before we move into the next section, did you know that 80% of the people watching my videos aren't even subscribed to my channel? Help me change that. I'm trying to build a positive and inclusive community around the latest audio technology, and I'd love it if you joined us. So now let's get into the comfort. So the Technics AZ60 feature a compact bud design. Overall, they are quite comfortable for my large ears. Now, unfortunately, I won't recommend them for sleep unless you're a back sleeper. Side sleepers need not apply because it will put a bit of pressure into the inside concha of your ears. At least that was my own personal experience. Overall, there was no noticeable ear fatigue while wearing these for long listening sessions, and I attribute this to the fact that Technics actually made these earbuds smaller than their their previous version. So kudos to them for doing that. Now, when it comes to activities like going for walks, workouts, exercise, and things of that nature, there's no issues with them falling out. Now, they do include 7 different size ear tips, so you can really size these earbuds to your own ears. But if there's ever an issue with any of those 7 sizes not fitting you, then you do have the option of going with something like a SpinFit CP360. That's what I'm using on mine. So they do provide exceptional grip if you need something different. But overall, the fit and comfort of the Technics AZ60 is excellent. One of the more comfortable earbuds that I've tested in a long time. So now let's move over to the controls. The Technics AZ60 are featuring full touch controls. They are highly responsive when it comes to that. Very, very good. Actually, probably almost to a fault, because you can experience some accidental touches if you're not careful. You do get access to a single, double, and triple tap along with a long press. And all of these controls are fully customizable. So you can go through and change them up and really dial in the control setup for your own personal taste. That includes volume control and listening modes. So overall, excellent when it comes to the control setup on these. There are a few earbuds that I see with this level of control. This is essentially like what Soundcore is doing with theirs. So very, very good overall. So now let's quickly touch on the Technics Audio Connect app. It is available for both iOS and Android, and it is a fully fleshed out app. So you're going to get access to battery levels, all the different listening modes. You're going to get 5 EQ presets, with one of them being a fully customizable preset using a 5-band equalizer. You also get a Find My Headphones feature. There's a Just My Voice testing, so you can really dial in your call quality. On top of that, when you go into the settings, there's a wide variety of settings inside that settings menu, but most importantly, you get the voice prompts, which lets you change the language. You also get the toggle for multipoint and LDAC, and LDAC is something that you have to activate via the app. So make sure you do that when you first download this app. And then you get the ability to customize all the touch controls. So there is a lot of stuff going on in that app, so make sure you download that as soon as you get these earbuds. So now let's move over to the performance of the Technics AZ60. Let's start with that active noise cancellation. So Technics was touting this dual hybrid active noise cancellation, and the ANC effect is very strong at 100%. So the ANC is actually fully adjustable. It has a knob where you can turn it all the way down to 0 and all the way up to 100, and you can really stop it wherever you want. So it's very good, and you do have the ability to optimize it to your surroundings. So overall, very, very good, but you want to use that app to really kind of get that all dialed in to your own personal comfort levels. It is very strong. So for some people, that 100% strength might be too strong and be uncomfortable. So just keep that in mind. One of the good things about that, though, is that they do bring some of the strongest noise cancellation available on the market at this time. So super impressive. Now, there is a slight bit of EQ shift when you're switching modes between no noise canceling and full noise canceling at 100%. So do keep that in mind. Now, it does self-adjust, so it isn't a huge deal, but it's something that I wanted to bring up here. But now let's move over to their ambient mode. Now, the ambient mode on the Technics AZ60 are dual mode. So you get it full transparent and you get what they call their attention mode. Now, it is clear and it is loud, but it still comes in a bit processed. That is in their regular transparent mode. Now, the attention mode does an excellent job of blocking out background noise while focusing and amplifying human voices. It's actually surprisingly good at doing that. So kudos to them for really dialing that in correctly. Now, both of these are very good at helping you maintain situational awareness. So if you're going to be wearing them walking around outside, you want to make sure you don't get hit by a car. These are going to have you covered. Now, unfortunately, this mode still feels a bit stuffy when compared to something like the Apple AirPods Pro, so just keep that in mind. So now let's get down to the meat and potatoes. Let's start with the volume. So on the volume scale, I'm going to have to give the AZ60s a 9 out of 10 on volume. So more than loud enough for me personally. I'm usually doing my listening with these around 60 to 75%. So still plenty of overhead if I'm listening to any sort of quiet tracks or maybe a video with quiet dialogue. And then when it comes to the sound quality. So for sound quality, I'll preface it like this. When I first started listening to the AZ60s, when I first put them in my head, the very first words that popped into my head were immersive and soundstage. Those were the two things that really stuck out to me. But there's a bit more to unpack here. So let's start with the bass. Now, the Technics AZ60 are featuring deep, impactful bass, and there's lots of sub-bass extension here, and that's that rumble that you can feel in your chest. Very, very good. And the bass also extends into the mids, but in a good way. There's no muddiness to it, and it doesn't ruin the mid-range in any way. But it is something that you can dial back in the EQ if the bass is a bit too much for you. You always have that option. Now, if you want to check out a test song that I was using a song called Money by Lisa, and that's Lisa from Blackpink. Now, all you have to do is listen to the sub bass throughout that entire song to hear exactly what I'm talking about. So now let's move over to the mid-range on the AZ60s. And the mids are excellent. They're rich and immersive. You're getting excellent vocal clarity here, both male and female voices. Now, the soundstage here is wide, and it is on par with the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. So you get that airy feeling where instruments are more out in space versus being all up in your ears, despite the fact that they still keep the bass kind of up in close. Like you can still feel that rumble, but with the mid-range, they're a bit pushed out, and it gives you this three-dimensional feel, which is kind of tough to explain, so you kind of have to hear it to understand it. Now, when it comes to the test track that I was using for this, I was using a song called When My Train Pulls In by Gary Clark Jr. Now, it's the male vocals, the grittiness in his voice, and the guitar with the live band behind him. But you want to go to the 2-minute and 20-second mark on that song where the guitar solo begins? Man, chef's kiss. You definitely want to check that out. Now, last but not least, let's get into the treble. So these have good treble, but it's more on the relaxed side. So it's not sparkly, it doesn't have a lot of airiness to that sound, but it's very consumer friendly. So it's still going to give you enough treble, but it's not going to be in your face. Like I said, a bit more relaxed. So there's good instrument separation here for a true wireless earbud. Listening to live bands, classical music, things of that nature, you can really pinpoint where all these instruments are in space. So very, very good overall, in my personal opinion. Now, when it comes to a test song that I was using here, it's a song called No Me Queda Más by Selena, rest in peace. Now, her sultry voice combined with the strings and the horns, absolutely beautiful. Now, to go to the 1-minute and 55-second mark, and this is where you'll hear kind of the end of her singing where it goes into the chorus or the bridge, and that's when you hear the horns and the strings really come in. They truly shine with the AZ60s here. Now, all the testing that I did here was done with the factory EQ settings on the AZ60, but if you want to try my own personal EQ, I'll put a screenshot of that right here on the screen. Now, feel free to pause the video right here so you can copy these settings and give it a listen for yourself. Okay, before we move any further forward, I have to step in real quick while I'm editing because I forgot to put a section in. So let's talk about the constructive criticism for the Technics AZ60. So first up, there is no low latency mode, or otherwise known as a gaming mode. So that's something that I wish would have been included with these earbuds, especially at this price point, but sadly it is not here. So that's first. Now second, there's also no wireless charging. So I know this is a slimmer case, but it would have been excellent to see this functionality here, considering that the competition is bringing wireless charging on their cases, and some of them are equally small, like the Sony XM4, or if you want to go budget, the Earphone Free Pro 2 tiny case has wireless charging, so something to keep in mind. And then third, these also don't feature wear detection. That one kind of caught me by surprise, especially for a premium tier earbud. Now, that isn't really a deal breaker for me personally, but it's something that I wish would have been included here. When you're paying this price, you kind of want to make sure you have all the bells and whistles, right? So these are the three things that I wish they would have improved a little bit, but just some constructive criticism. Hopefully when they come out with the third version of these earbuds, we'll address all of these concerns. So now let's answer those two questions from the beginning of the video. Are the AZ60s worth $200+? Yes. In one word, yes. Especially when considering the sound quality, connectivity, feature set, and app support here. While not being perfect, they more than make up for their flaws with their inherent strengths. And then the second question, can they compete against some of the top dogs at the upper tier of wireless earbuds? Once again, that answer is yes. These can easily compete at top tier level amongst some of the very best on the market from any brands that you throw at them. But that's going to bring us over to the ranking portion of this video. So let's get straight into it. Now, for this comparison, we're going to be comparing the Technics AZ60 against the Bang & Olufsen Beoplay EQ, the Sony WF-1000XM4, the Bose Quiet Comfort earbuds, and the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. So first, let's start with the active noise cancellation. In first place, we've got the Bose Quiet Comfort. In second place, we've got the Sony WF-1000XM4. In third place, we've got the Technics AZ60. In fourth place, we've got the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. And in fifth place, we've got the B&O Beoplay EQ. While the Technics can definitely compete with the best out there for noise cancellation, there's a noticeable difference between them and what Bose is offering. While the AZ60 can tune out some of the low and mid frequencies very well, the Bose do a much better job across the entire frequency range, giving them an easy, decisive win here when it comes to noise cancellation. So now let's move over to the ambient mode. So for ambient mode, in first place, we've got the Sony WF-1000XM4. In second place, we've got the Bose Quiet Comfort Earbuds. In third place, we've got the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. In fourth place, we've got the B&O Beoplay EQ. And in fifth place, we've got the Technics AZ60. Now, the AZ60 do an excellent job at blocking out external noise with their attention mode, but it tends to sound a bit more processed than the others on this list. The Sony XM4 have the loudest and most natural sounding ambient mode, giving them an easy win in this lineup. And now, volume. In first place, we've got the Bose Quiet Comfort Earbuds. In second place, we've got the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. In third place, we've got the Technics AZ60. In fourth place, we've got the Sony WF-1000XM4. And in fifth place, we've got the B&O Beoplay EQ. As I said earlier in this review, the AZ60 get plenty loud enough for me, but they are middle of the pack when it comes to volume, especially coming in at 108 decibels of peak volume. Surprisingly enough, the Bose Quiet Comfort took the win here with the highest peak decibels at 115 in my testing. So now let's move over to the sound quality. And in first place, we've got the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. Second place, we've got the Technics AZ60. Third place, we've got the Bose Quiet Comfort Earbuds. Fourth place, we've got the Beoplay EQ. And in fifth place, we've got the Sony WF-1000XM4. Now, sound quality is where the AZ60 surprised me the most. Immersive, yet still engaging, but without being bloated or muddy. It was a close race between the Liberty 3 Pro and the AZ60s, but the Soundcore still managed to pull ahead with deeper bass extension and more clarity and airiness within that treble. So the win here definitely goes to Soundcore, but it's not by much. So that speaks highly of the Technics AZ60. So now, with all of that said, let's get into some microphone quality samples. I'm going to play all of them back to back so you can hear which one is going to work best for you. All right, so here we have the microphone quality test for the Technics AZ60. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, we're indoors in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone quality test for the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, I'm indoors once again in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone quality test for the Bose Quiet Comfort Earbuds. So testing, 1, 2, 3. So obviously, I'm indoors once again in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone quality test for the B&O Beoplay EQ. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, once again, I'm indoors and in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone quality test for the Sony WF-1000XM4. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, I'm indoors once again in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the Technics AZ60 in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a crowded bar, maybe a busy bus station, something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, and here we have the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a crowded bar, maybe a busy bus station, something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the Bose Quiet Comfort Earbuds in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a crowded bar, a busy restaurant, something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the B&O Beoplay EQ in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a busy restaurant, maybe a crowded bar, something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the Sony WF-1000XM4 in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a busy bar, a busy restaurant, something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. As always, you're going to have to be the judge of the microphone quality down in the comment section. So with all of that out of the way, if you're interested in checking out my full review of one of the very best earbuds under $200, check out the video that I'm going to leave for you right up here on the screen. If you're interested in picking up these Technics AZ60, I'll leave a link for them right up here as well. With all that said, I'm out. Peace.